The off-shoulder dress is a beautiful, versatile part to any outfit. Knowing how to draft it can add a flavour of style to your fashion skills. Hello viewer, my name is Stella with Stella JB Fashion. Today I will be showing you on how to draft a complete off-shoulder dress pattern with some vital calculations. The materials and basic measurements for this course will be in the description. At the end of this video, you will know how to draft a fitting off-shoulder to your measurements. Follow this channel for my off-shoulder sewing class coming soon. If you are looking for other patterns, see my bodies and corset drafting courses in the description. And remember to subscribe to the Stella JB channel and click the bell for notification to see more great fashion content. And before then, I want to teach you on how to minimize or utilize your material so that you don't just waste your material. Okay, so when you want to draft your off-shoulder or you want to draft anything, to get the width of your fabric, okay, you use the biggest circumference of your body measurements for the width. Okay, so the biggest measurement I'm using here is the hip. The hip is 42. 42 divided by 4 be giving me 10.5 inches plus 1.5 inches seam allowance. Okay, that's 12.5, but I made it 13 so that I can have a little space where I can just draft. So for you to get the depth of your material, it depends on how the length which you want. Maybe you want to stop at your waist. If it's your waist, then the length of the material you'll be using should be your waist. If you are stopping at the hip, it will be your hip. And if you are stopping at the knee, it depends on what you want. So for the sake of this tutorial, we are using full length of the material. That is what we want, the full length of the blouse. Okay, so the first thing you do is an off shoulder. Okay, we'll be taking off the shoulder. It's not personal, it depends on what you want. If you want it very deep, you can go as low as 6 inches. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will be using 4.5 inches so that by the time I sew it, it will be 5 inches. So I'm taking off. So what you do, you take your tape roll this way, as I'm doing right now, to the edge of the shoulder right here, the line here to the neckline. You put it this way, take off your 4.5. Then the next thing, you take all your vertical measurements. Now, I'll be taking my nipple measurements. Okay, the nipple measurement is 9.5 inches. Then going down to my underbust, 12.5. Going down to the waist, that is 16.5. Then the hip measurement is 23.5. Okay, then the full length of this material, of this fabric I'm using, of the blouse, is 25 inches plus your sewing allowance, your seam allowance, or your hem allowance. So that is 26.5. So I'm using 1 inch, okay, for the hem allowance. So I'll do same here so that I can get a straight line. Just repeat the same point, same that you did here. Then join the points in a straight line. Just join the points. All I'm just doing, I'm just connecting the points. Okay, so Once I am done with this, the next thing is you just to label it so I don't get confused, okay? And now, if you want to get your upper bust, what you just do, you just come up by 1 inch. It's always perfect. It's always correct, okay? To get your upper bust line, come up by 1 inch. So this is your upper bust. Okay, this is a bust point. This is underbust. This is your waist. This is the hip and the full length of the blouse. Okay. So the next thing we do, before then, we just know the difference between the back and the front panel is just the zip allowance. Any shape I have at the front, I'm also have the same shape at the back for the back panel also. So the only difference is just the zip allowance, which is 1 inch. That is what I left. Okay. So the next thing you do is to get your neckline. How to get your width measurement? You need to know your upper round measurement or the upper bust measurement divided by 8 plus 0.5 inch allowance, or your nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus 0.5 inch allowance. The shoulder measurement, the round shoulder measurement for this tutorial is 44 inches minus the upper bust measurement, which is 35 inches. Okay, that is, it will give me 9 inches. Because this fabric is on fold, so I have to divide it into 2 to give me 4.5. So I'll go ahead to measure the 4.5 plus ½ inch sewing allowance. That is 5 inches. You mark it there. Take your 5 inches this way. That's your 5 inches. Okay. So the next thing you do is to get your armhole curve, to get your armhole. So how do we get your armhole? We have to take our bust circumference. So the bust circumference here that we are taking here, as we have said, is 38. 38 divided by 4 to give me 9 inches plus 0.5 inch ease allowance. Okay, you will take it here, 9.5. So all you do is to join this point to this point in a curve way. So you have to curve it. So why I am taking these measurements at the upper bust, because when I take it at the bust point, it's going to make going to make the armhole to be too big. So that's why I'm taking it here. Okay. So you join the points together in a curve way. To make you can, if you like, you can also make it straight. Okay. So the next thing we do, this is your armhole, and you want to get the depth of your neck. Just come down by 1 inch. If you want to come down by 1.5, it's fine. But I'm using 1 inch here. Then I'm going to curve it as well. So that way. So the next thing you do is to get our span measurement. The bust span here, 8 divided by 2, that is 4 inches. Then we'll take 4 inches down to the full length. Take 4 inches to the underbust, 4 inches to my waist, 4 inches the hip, also 4 inches, then down to this place, 4 inches. Then you will join the points in a straight line. Okay. Join the points together like so. So when you are done with this, the next thing you do is want to get our waist darts. From the bust measurements, come down by 1 inch. Come down by 1 inch like this. Okay. At the waist measurement, you take half an inch in both sides. Half an inch. Then to the hip, you come up by 2 inches. Then join the point together. Join this point to this point. Join this point to this point. So join this point to this point. Join this point to this point. Okay. So when you are done with this, the next thing you do is to take all your circumference, all your circumference. So you come from the bust. So whatsoever you took here, you still bring it down. That is what would, okay. So at the waist measurement, waist I'm using is 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. And before then, you measure this dart that you took out of this place. This is half. When you replace it back, okay? If you have your underbust measurement, okay, you take your underbust measurements there. It depends if you have your underbust measurement. So the underbust measurement also here is still 32. So 32 divided by 4 is 8 inches. Plus you have to add half inch. That is what it, add the half here, add the back here. Okay, so you come to the waist. The waist is 32. 8. Okay, this is 8 here. You come here. This is 1 inch that we left. You add it back here. 1 inch. Okay, to the hip, we have 42 inches divided by 4, which is 10 and half. There's no dart. The dart did not get here. So 10 and half. You have to measure your 10 and half here. 10 and half. Do the same thing to the full length. Measure the same thing here. You join the point together. Okay. Okay. This point to this point. Okay. Then make sure you blend this side. Make sure it's not sharp. So we are taking our allowance, our 1.5 inch allowance. You take it all round. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Then join the points together. Okay, so that is all for this. If we have done this, then that means you are good to go. So the next thing we'll do is just to cut it out. And before then, note, this is an allowance. We left this place. We have to take it out because this is the dart allowance. I didn't take it out. I'm supposed to add it here. So what you just do, you note how many inches you left. I'm supposed to do this before doing every other one. Okay, so this is ½ inch. You add this ½ inch here. Okay, so you come to the waist. This is 1 inch. You add it here back. You replace it back. Okay, you join the point together. Normally I'm supposed to have added it before. Please ignore. Okay, so that is all for that. Thanks for joining me. This has been Stella with Stella JB Fashion. Comment if you have any questions and check my links if you need help with your fashion designs. I would love to help you perfect your work. If you found this video helpful, press the like button and subscribe to the Stella JB Fashion channel for more helpful tutorials and contents for fashion designers.